All right, welcome everyone. We have another very special guest, a good buddy of mine. He is here. He's joining us, Anatoly Filatov, also known as No Limit Profit online, absolute crusher. How are you, Anatoly?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Jeff?
Doing well, man. Thank you for making the time. I know I believe you're traveling at the moment. It looks like you're in a hotel. You always keep busy. You're always on the move. Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to and where you are right now.
So since November, I was in Dubai, so I decided to spend the winter time in the warm weather. But now it became really like hot, like in Vegas during the World Series. So we decided to move to Istanbul for some time, and now I'm in Istanbul. And actually, this is my like workspace now. It's not a hotel; it's just just my bedroom for working.
Very, very nice. And how much poker you been playing these days? I mean, you had some huge scores. We're going to cover that. Of course, we'll talk about the current landscape of poker and the tournaments and the health of that. It seems very healthy. And I know you've been doing well, but you had a 500K score, I know, late last year, and also a $1.2 million score amongst a lot of others. So, tell me a little bit about that and how much poker you've been playing.
So I really played a lot of big series in Sundays, and like 2021 was the best year for me in poker career. So I won like really really a lot for me. But 2022 became not that great. Now I still play mostly Sundays. I didn't have really place where I can play. So because I was traveling a lot with the whole family, and we bring like 180 kilos of our stuff to Istanbul from Dubai. So we had kind of, difficult and tough travel. But now I feel like, I'm gonna play and come back to online also and play not only Sundays. I will play like more tournaments. And now there is a big series on Poker Oak. Um, who's a partner of GG. So, and I want to play. I want like to win more titles. And actually, yeah, to be honest, I bring the screen. It's almost here on. It's here, but it's broken. So I bring it from Dubai. It was traveling in my luggage, but when I unpack it yesterday, it's just like it's broken. So maybe I make the prank video and I just broke my monitor, like I'm tilting or something. But now, yeah.
Listen, I know how I can't even express enough how traveling, having to play online or stream or do things from not having your own workspace, right? Like in your own office, your own comfortability is very difficult because these type of things happen. And it may seem like, oh, it's just a monitor, get a new one, but maybe where you are, you have to get like a different formatted one. Maybe your size tables or how your setup is for streaming is different. It's just not necessarily so easy to get the right monitor, the size you want that fits in your bag that you can travel around with that's optimal, right? Because you want to have a big monitor. You want to have one that you can be comfortable on, see the tables, and do all that. So is that what you're going through right now, or is it actually in Istanbul? I imagine they do have a lot of electronics and stores that
Oh,
are.
they had a lot, but actually, I was in Estonia like last year, for half a year, and I bought the monitor there. I bring it to Moscow. Then I moved to Dubai for a while. I bought a monitor there, and then I decided not to leave it to my friend in Dubai and just bring it with myself. And now it's broken, and I'm gonna buy the new one here in Istanbul. But it's okay when you play like this high limit tournaments, you can spend some money for a new monitor,
Right.
and yeah.
Yeah, it's part of what you have to have. It's just a necessity. Is how is it on what do you generally do with tables when you play? How many will you play at a time, and does that depend how big the buy-ins are? If you have some huge buy-ins, maybe you just take down the tables, or if it's a regular Sunday with a lot of mid stakes to higher but not super high, will you play more? What's your range?
Yeah, you're right. Now I'm playing less tables than usual. I play like 6, 8 tables on my laptop, and I have like 4K screen on laptop, so I can put the monitor if I want. But yeah, when you play like big tournaments, especially on Sunday, I play like 10K, few satellites to 10K and 25K, 1K tournament, 525 bounty tournament, and maybe a few more. I don't even play like big tournaments like 300 buy-in, 500K guarantee. So I don't even play this one. But yeah, if you play a lot and if you grind, so there is a lot of options to play on Poker Rock or GG during the Sunday. And some players they play even all the 5Ks and some other stuff. It's kind of crazy. Like Arthur Martirosyan, he plays like he can spend like 200K during one Sunday. It's just insane, I guess. But I'm
Wow.
trying.
It's
Yeah, I'm trying
it,
to spend less. Yeah.
it does get wild. Like, tell me, because I mean that's the thing in poker is you see some big scores or you see stuff, and the highs are amazing. It's great when you get a huge score, but it's also there's the reality is a lot of Sundays, a lot of days of playing, you just don't win, right? You could be down, and you might even have a 50K, 70K score, and you could be down money on the weekend or for over a stretch of time. So how do you kind of balance your success when you don't have things go your way? Because there's big swings, obviously.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated because last year was the best year for me and I just won really a lot. But since 2022, I started to lose and I lost like a lot. And then crypto goes down also. So I lost like a lot of money there because I kept some crypto. And then I realized that I have to start, to follow bankroll management more careful, especially nowadays because like the bankroll is the thing that you really need. So now I'm trying to avoid some 25Ks. Before that I played and sometimes re-enter. Not really, I don't think there was great EV, but yeah. So yeah, should be careful. Anyway, if you play for your own money, you should be careful for sure.
And when you run hot, I mean that's kind of thing, right? When things are good, it's like they say never walk away from a heater. If you're doing everything's going well, you hit some major scores. I guess it's probably you think about it less, right? You're just kind of like, all right, like let's
Yeah,
go, let's
you
see
don't
where this
care,
can
right?
go.
When you're winning, you don't care. You
It's
you
like
you know
how
you don't even
frustrating
work on
is
your
it?
game when you're on winning side. When I start losing, that's a really good time for me because I start to work on my game and like to think more and do all these things. But yeah, so I mean, for me, it worked this way. I'm just too lazy to do some stuff, to work on my game, to spend time when you're on winning side. Yeah.
Yeah, and we mentioned crypto. You said it went down some. Give me some price predictions we like to do on here. See who can get the closest by the end of the year. I mean, obviously, right now, mid-April, there's still a long way to go. But what do you think for January 2023? What are your thoughts for? Let's just go with Bitcoin and Ethereum to keep it simple for crypto. What are your predictions?
Okay, so
In
January.
U.S. dollar, right now we
I
see it's like
think I
40K.
think we're gonna be bullish in this way. So I can predict that there'll be like 89K for Bitcoin, maybe
89K for Bitcoin, and what about for Ethereum?
maybe 7K.
Okay, so you're feeling a little over double on both from here from now till January. I like it. I think that's listen, that's great.
I'm
I'm
trying to believe it. Like you
trying to
need to
positive
hold,
energy it.
hold, always hold.
I love that. I love it. Well, beautiful. Yeah, we see. Take a look, flash at the price. And what about NFTs? Have you got the bug at all? Do you splash around with it? Do you have
Oh
any? Do
yeah,
you like any?
yeah. I had few. So where's my phone? Yeah, I bought this. Like Floyd Mayweather, the board bunnies, something like that. But then everything goes like also bought few Oxia. It had the really great marketing, but when it came out, it's just a shit, I guess. So yeah, I had few NFTs, and it's not really running good. But I just started, to follow all this stuff, and now I'm trying to be careful. I just spend maybe like 30 for like 40K for that. I also invest in few like NFT games with my partners, and yeah, and it looks like much better than this, but it's still a new market, and it will grow for sure and will be different. So I think in the future we'll see a lot of changes, but now everything like, just new.
Yeah, of course, Brett. It is something we'll likely see for the rest of our lifetime. It'll be something similar to the internet when it came. It's just kind of it's new, it happens, and it just sort of evolves. But I agree with you there that it is very new, and we'll see how it does transpire. What is the plan for you for the WSOP? It's a new venue. It's in the U.S. That sort of like just happened, right? The World Series was in the fall. Now it's in the summer, the regular time again. Do you plan to play a lot of it, all of it, some of it?
Yeah, actually I want to go to the World Series. I skipped the last one. The one was canceled before because of the COVID. So yeah, I did get my visa in January, but now it's even more complicated than it was before. So I hopefully I go to the World Series, play some tournaments. We'll check the schedule one more time because I don't want to go like for the whole like 6 weeks, and leave my family here in Istanbul for this time. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I'm excited about the World Series. I need the bracelet. I won the bracelet. I had 0 final tables in live World Series of poker, and I was in Vegas many times, like 10 times. I busted 10s, 11s, 12s, but 0 final tables. So I think it's my time to win the bracelet.
You strike me as the guy that's not going to coast in either. Like you'll probably just win your first one, because I think that that's sort of indicative of your style, that you do go for chips. You're fairly aggressive. You know how to win tournaments, and maybe you go out more 10, 11, 12, but you're going to have less 6, 7, 8s and more first, second, thirds, or more first. Is that also fair? Do you think that some of your playing style is more aggressive or go for big spots, and is that a fair statement, or do you think
No,
that
I think that's not true. It was just now the strategy changes, so I played completely different, I guess. In some spots, I can put some pressure, but some players they think I'm aggressive, but I don't think so. I'm just trying to play like the right ranges in the right ICM situations, so in the right like GPV situations. And I see that some players are over aggressive that it should be. So, and I'm trying to avoid this kind of stuff because like we're here to win, even if you like if we speak, we're just here to earn money with poker, not
yeah?
only titles, because like we have to live our own lives, so and we need money for that, but titles are also great. So yeah.
Titles are great. If you could, what is the one you have your eye on the most? Is it the World Series of Poker? Is that the one you want to win a bracelet the most, or what is the most important live? Would be the most important live title for you?
I think the most important thing in life, it's not in poker area at all, but as a the most valued, it's the World Series bracelet, especially the main event. That's the thing. But the probability of hitting the main event bracelet, it's so low. We should ask Corey. Maybe he will tell us. How difficult is that?
Yes, yeah, he's on my podcast next week. I look forward to that. I actually just got to talk and do some commentary at Triton in Cyprus with him. But yeah, very nice guy and a great player, right? It does seem impossible to win, but then again, we know when it's people kind of in our same circles and age and people we know and respect, and it does happen. It just seems it's so hard because there's so many good poker players that
Sure.
now
You
that
need,
are
you need a good run anyway, but maybe the time, I think that like there is a right time for some things in your life to happen. So maybe that will be the right time. I don't really, put that much, offer that much attention to the bracelet exactly, but I just want to win. That's the goal. But if I don't win, nothing will change, to be honest. So, but yeah, as a
right.
competitor, I would like to win.
Yeah, it'd be one that you'd carry a little extra pep in your step when you walk around. Just I think if I won the main event, it would just. I mean, I like to think I'm generally happy and smiling, but I don't think you'd ever see me not smiling. Like it just be you could never complain about a bad beat or anything really. And it's funny to see guys that have won the main event or won some stuff, and they still like talk about bad beats or running bad, and it is
But
kind
it's
of
not. It
funny.
doesn't work this way because like you just forget everything that you won, all the bad bits that you made to the opponent, and then
Right.
when you had a bad bit, you always want to win. That's the main thing. That's why
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
you need
I
to
think
win.
I like to think if I won the main event, the World Series main event, I would not ever. But maybe it's just how it works. Maybe you just naturally do have those feelings
So
and
if you make the final table, okay, if you play and make the final table, would you make the party in marquee or something like in the best tradition?
yeah, there'd be some party for sure. We'd have a good time. I think the final table. That's an interesting question people ask. Would you rather win a bracelet or no, but make the final 9 televised World Series main event? What would you choose? I mean, if the money was equal.
Equal money,
Yeah.
the same money. Oh,
Yeah, like you win the 10K 6 max, whatever for $1 million, or you get ninth for $1 million in
of
the
course, the first place. That's
you want
not.
the trophy,
There's
right?
no doubt, right?
I think it's not everyone doesn't answer that. That's how I feel. I would want the bracelet. I guess it also depends maybe if you have a bracelet before or not, but if you just all things equal, I think it's
Yeah,
not.
but what's the point if you finish ninth? It's so bad. You feel so upset. You don't feel like you're a winner. When you win the first place, you're a winner, and when you finish ninth, you're just like, I mean, yeah, you won 1 million, but you don't feel like that. You feel like you lose 6 or 7 that you
That-
could win. So it's
Hey,
kind of.
I agree with you. I'm on your side. I think that that's not how everyone feels, but it depends. And I think that you're right though. I think I'd say the majority of people would say the same as you. And what about other like series like WPTs or live stops? Is there any other ones you try to generally get to? Is there any stops you love in the world to just travel around to?
I would love to travel and play a lot of tournaments, but I'm just skipping all of them. I was supposed to go to the EPT Prague, but then some bad things happened and I skipped this one. I decided to come back to Dubai. So I just changed my plans a few times. And actually that will be EPT in Monte Carlo in Monaco.
Yeah.
So, but I also skipped this one. I guess that will be the big series in Merit in Cyprus. Maybe I'll go there because it's so close from Istanbul. It's just like 1 hour flight, I guess, to Cyprus. Maybe I go there. But we just moved here, like to the new city. We need to do all the procedures and all the stuff, to stay here longer. So as soon as I finish all the things, maybe we'll go. And we have a small baby, like the Boris. He needs also attention and time, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's why it's kind of more complicated.
I mean, I know how it is. I have a basically 3-year-old this week. I know yours is 1.5. Boris is how is that being a father of having a young child and then being on the road and with the family? Because you have to consider a lot of things. When we were young, single, just pick up and go. I say, hey, come here tomorrow for a series in Miami or come to Vegas. Like you can just kind of go and no responsibilities, right? Do what you want when you want. Now it's not that simple. How is that? Give me some of the most immediate impact changes and how do you deal with that?
So yeah, the most impact change was that I didn't sleep. We both, me and my wife, we didn't sleep for like the last 1 year and a half because Boris he still doesn't sleep at night. He wakes up like few times, like 3, 4, 5 times. So that's why it was yeah, that's why I get like some extra weight because I eat because of the stress and so on. It's kind of funny because when people get married, sometimes they're like sport guys and whatever, and then getting fat. And I'm this guy, I'm getting fatter. It's just my fault maybe. Yeah, I'm dreaming that I just start to go to the gym again and do all the things, and
It, it's
but we'll
it's
see. But
it's funny you say that because I just got my DEXA scan, like body fat percent, which was pretty high, like for what I thought. Like I don't feel like I'm overweight like significantly, but it's all relative. But I have my DEX scan was like 24%, which is pretty high, right? Like for the body fat, yeah. And I don't feel heavy. I mean, I could. There's a little something here, but I got some bets. I'm going down to 10%. I got a Peloton. I'm on a diet.
you're
But
going to 10%, 10%.
10, 10,
10
yeah,
for
in like
oh
4
my
months.
god, that's kind of the
Yeah.
big athlete, 10%. I think
We're gonna
like
give it a
15 is
try. I
enough.
mean, listen, if I come up a little short, it's okay, right? If I get close to that, and I'll give it.
It's worth it, right?
Yeah, I'll give it exactly. And I have a couple. I have some other friends that are not athletes by any means that are also around the same and trying to get low. So we have some bets, and who knows? I know how hard it is. I do know because I've seen friends do it. I've seen like I'll give you an example. Bill Perkins though, he's at 8.3%. He went from 23 to 8 like pretty quick. So you know, it's possible, and he's
Why did
53.
he used
So
to do that? And he's like, Bill looks great, but he looks like he's in fantastic shape, but he's like almost 50, right?
he's 53. Yeah,
He's 53. It's
and
just
he and
insane.
he and I mean, so he's just a, but he's got all the tricks. Like he's got hired the trainers, got the chef. Like he's really militant because when you're in the hotel or you're on the road, you're going around. It's not so easy, right? Like you, especially with the young child, because that's the thing. It's like you only have so much time. You're already probably a
And
little
you're
more
not so motivated, to be honest. Like when you're
right.
like highly motivated, you can do that. And if you're not that motivated, you just find, escape and eat sweets. I like sweets and so on. But with a small child, it's a great time to spend with a small child. And this time it's never goes back, right? Because they grow up, they're different now. But I think that may be the best time of my life right now. I don't even realize that. Who knows?
Right. Well, that's a great point. And you have to be exactly about motivation and what's important because it's not just 30 minutes here. It's like planning, it's set up, the workouts, the diet, all this stuff. Like you have to really put a time and effort into it. So
But I did a bet before to like losing weight, and I lost weight. Yeah, But maybe I need to make a bet one more time. But it's more complicated, to stay in this shape. Like to achieve the shape, it's possible, but then you have to stay like for half a year or maybe for 1 year. That you need to change the whole life, the whole
It
diet,
it
everything.
really it can happen fast too, because it's so, I feel like it's so, it's such a lesson about habits and doing things daily, right? Like it's like if you want to learn a language and you spend 15 minutes a day for a year or so, like 20 minutes you might get it, or get be able to speak a bit. Or poker, you want to study, putting half an hour a day, it's going to go a long way versus nothing. Oh, I'll do like 3 hours a day starting here for whatever. So it's just kind of, it's about habits, but it also goes really quickly too. Cause like you said, even you get down at like 13, 14, 15%, you get in good shape. It takes a couple late night ice creams, start drinking again and having wine, skip the gym for a couple weeks, and like, you're back right to where you started. So anyway, yeah, it's fascinating, but I'm motivated to turn it on. Although again, when you're on the road, when you're traveling, it's a lot harder because you don't have your
So
routine.
how much you bet? How much you bet? What's the bet? Maybe I joined. Who
I
knows?
have, so a buddy of mine and I, we one of them is by August 1st, we have to be down to 12.5%. That's
Wow.
for 25K. Like if either of us hit 12.5 at any point, like you're clear. So you could get a dex at 12 and then go back to 15 or whatever. You just have to hit it by August 1st. So that's one. And then I'm actually finalizing the exact amount, but my other friend was like 27% and I was 24. So like we did like a 50%, or no, like 55% loss. He wanted to get to 15%. I have to get to like 13.1 by July 5th, which is kind of hard, but 13, I think 13 is like a
It's
little more,
possible
it's
if you start.
possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
10% aggressive. I have one as well with a friend for that, for a smaller amount of money by July 1st. And I'm in trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble actually. I'm not there, like discipline wise quite yet, but I'm hitting the Peloton daily. I'm hitting the workouts. I'm just nervous when I travel, like what's going to happen. Like, cause then it's going to be hard.
You're
Diet,
gonna eat the great food. You should travel to Europe, Italy, eat
yeah, be in
pasta,
Europe. But I mean, it's not even the
French, eat
food
some
though.
bakery.
It's that they don't have like the same gyms. It's like one thing to have a Peloton in your bedroom. It's another to have to like go out down the street, find
Yeah, right.
get in
But the
there.
main thing is what you eat, right? That's the main thing. That's sugar and so on. That's I eat a lot of sugar. That's the main problem for me. I just
Right.
can't stop eating. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's like I said, it's streaky. One little mistake, one little. You got to be militant. You got to just kind of be none or all. A little.
But
It's
I
very.
believe in you, bro. I believe in you.
I'm working at it. We're going for it. We'll see what happens. If you want to ever hop in on something, let me know. But I do think that it's fun. Like it's not even exactly the point of a bet and trainers and all that. It's just kind of like it keeps you accountable, right? It's just like it makes you think before you do something. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, we'll see. And tell me some about this Super Million. So you play this 10K almost every week. I know you until you takes this one down. I mean, the thing is, you've had bigger scores, but this is a 10K buy-in. So, like, do you generally buy right in? Do you satellite? What are
Yeah,
some of the things? I mean, look at these names. Some tough players. This is not an easy. This was one. I don't know how many you won, but this is one you
I
won.
still think that the field in this tournament is great because even if it has a lot of good recs, it also has some amateur players. So yeah, that's why this tournament is definitely okay for me. So yeah, I played satellites for this one, but I guess I lost money in satellites, so I'm not sure that I was winning. But yeah, and then I played for buying, and sometimes I made some unnecessary entry in this tournament. But I still think this is a great tournament. But the variance is also high because since like 2022, I didn't even. I guess I get into the money one time, and actually I was on one final table also, and I busted kings over queens on like eighth or seventh place against Arthur, and first place was over million again. So it was kind of tough to have this kind of bad bits. But
Yeah.
yeah, these tournaments are crazy. But I still think that there's a good EV if you play one of them. And actually, you saw how Pablo Brito runs. He made like second place, final table, I guess fourth place, and now he finished third. It's just insane. It was like in a row.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, variance in poker is just crazy.
Yeah, it is. I think that's like Yeah, it's one of the most difficult things in poker to understand too. Like you said, when you're winning and maybe you're not even playing your absolute best, but you're just like running well and you're confident and things are going. And then there's times where you maybe make some mistakes or whatever, and you're still doing well. Then there's times where you're playing great and just running bad over a period of stretch. How are you able? What are some ways that you look at? Do you have a software like Poker Track, some kind of way where you analyze your hands and see your graphs, or do you just kind of know because you're getting in good or bad and how you're busting? How do you break that down? To be
I
honest with
work I work with few guys, and usually we do all the strategies in like simple poker software,
you.
and
Yeah,
we find some ranges and some strategies, and we trying to understand how other players are playing and like what kind of strategies they follow. So that's the main thing, and then you just have to make right decision, and then it is what it is. uh, yeah, you can control some stuff. I know the players who played the Super Millions, like 50 entry and like lost like 400k, and they're good players. So, and some players they made few to final tables and won a lot of money. So it's very complicated. And when you're winning, you don't need to think that you're the best in the world or something like that, because swings in this game are crazy. And if, as we can see in like in live tournaments, it was like Ollie Shaman who was winning like all the tournaments, and like feeder halls, then some other regs like Sam Greenwood was running so hot, um, like Daniel Coleman, whatever. I think like some they're all great players, right? But
yeah,
sometimes you
bottom
have
all.
your time, you run great, and something like that. So I just want to prolong my time to run good. That's the thing, and we'll see. Maybe I had like the hot run again.
Yeah, and it is fascinating. I mean, the thing is, poker is just such a great game because it's just so fun. There's some luck, but there's a lot of skill, and it's just like it's just the perfect game. What's your favorite game besides No Limit?
That's a good question. I think Omaha HL or something like. If we speak about tournaments, it's Omaha HL, because like to be honest, I'm pretty bad in other games, in all
That's
other
funny you
games
say
such
high
as
low
golf.
because that's not a common answer, but that's my next favorite game as well. And I actually got fifth place at the World Series last year in the 10K, and it was the most fun I've ever had. It was like it was just, and also I felt like the player. Not that I'm an expert, but I just could feel like there were a lot of players in there that were doing really bad things and playing bad and spewy. So it was just kind of like fun, right, to see other people not really, because I feel like I was okay. Like I played some cash games, high low, some clubs and stuff. So it's just fun. There's something about it. I think it's almost more skill. You really got to think. There's this creativity you can do and get to know people's games pretty well, right? Like you can actually break down an opponent and be like, wow, this guy, he plays too much high hands. He's weighted here. Like I know that so it's a lot of fun. I think that have you played that the 10K at the World Series, the high low?
No, no 10k. Come on. Maybe I played 1500 high low.
What do you
I
mean? You said
also
your
played.
next favorite game. You're a crusher. What do you? What's that? I would bet money you have.
But I never win in this game. But it's next favorite. And also, I played 8 games a few times. I played 8 games on big series. I also played even 25k bind once. But yeah, I also like start high low. It's
Yeah,
kind of interesting because like mixed games, they had like crazy bluffs with the small bets, and products are so great, and like you have to understand like how to play with the opponents and what to do. Like in like 2-7, you have to understand how to use the position. So many things to learn. I understand it when I play with the guys, and understand that if I don't have position, how tough it is for me, like to understand what to do without the knowledge, without education and so on. But I still prefer no limit hold'em.
yeah. And Dan Cates. I mean, speaking of Jungleman, how about that hand this WSOP in the 50K? Right? Do you remember this? It was like one more bet on the river to knock him out, and he got the guy to fold top pair when it was like check check flop and like some weird, really weird line. He was the shortest. Do you remember this?
No.
It's like you gotta go just after this, go search it. It's like Jungleman 50K, the Players Championship. It was literally one of the craziest hands in all time poker. Like he like raised the guy for one more bet to be all in on the river. He was distant third, and it was Volpe and this other guy were the other two. I think I forget to get his name. He's a good player. But yeah, he like raised it, and the guy folded and had like a winner. And Jungleman like turned Queen King. It wasn't even bluffing. He was like value betting like the whatever. But the
But the
guy
worst hand.
he had like Queen King, and it was like an ace Queen like 10 4 board or something, and I saw a 3 board, and I think the guy had ace 4, but it went like check on the flop, and then on the turn it either went check, Jungleman bet, he called, and in the river the guy let out, and Jungleman raised, and he folded. Something like that. You got to look at it. It was just crazy though, because like he then showed his hand. The guy showed the ace and folded, and Jungleman stood up and tabled his queen king, like slammed it down, and then Jungleman came back to win. So he would have been out.
But it was limit hold'em, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the limit hold'em is the most tilting game in the world, I guess. This is just, you know, the most tilting game.
Yeah, it is. It is. But anyway, it's like, you know, listen, I'm not a limit expert, but it was like an egregious play. Like it made no sense. Like the whole line was weird. Both players took, and then like the guy, like you could see the other guy's face to like get the pay jump, right, to knock him out, and he folded for like one blind, and the guy was like, and then he came back to win. It was just like, to your point, you know, it's there's some interesting things, and it's a different breed, different game than No Limit. I love PLO. I think PLO tournaments are so fun. The Parliament Omaha, and you know what's funny about tournaments? It seems like there's a lot of room for creativity, because I saw Patrick Leonard joke about maybe 75% of the tournaments will be mystery bounty in the future, and they're starting to do these, but like there's always variations you can make, right? For Parliament Omaha, make it a mystery bounty Parliament Omaha, make it big O 5 card maybe becomes the more, but like fundamentally I think people just love poker. They love to like gamble, and also
you love to gamble and to compete, like to solve the problems and so on, like to solve the puzzles. So
I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, online there's some talk, you know, it's a cat and mouse, right? RTA, this, that, people doing whatever, but like ultimately I think live poker is never going to go anywhere, and I think that online poker is also pretty healthy. I think it's just you know, there's
the fields are great, you know, and the fields are not like great like it was like maybe 15 years ago, but they're still good. There's still some value. A lot of people who has crypto now are playing, so it's kind of insane. Yeah, and I think that live poker will exist for sure, because it's different atmosphere, you know, the experience, especially if you're an amateur player and you just like have the normal job, earn some money, and then you get to the big tournament with all this revenue, the players and chips and all the cameras and titles. Yeah, it's great. It's like to go to the football game or like to the hockey or whatever. It's just emotions, right?
It's special. Yeah, it's there's also something about having live chips and just also interaction live. And who knows? I mean, maybe online too. We see some interactive features where GG puts in like the cam where you can like show yourself quickly. Like who knows? Maybe it'll be in a few years or coming up. There'll be more ways to make it more interactive and together. You can opt in. You know, it's tournaments where you have to be on camera or you know whatever. There's all kinds of. It's technology is fun, and the software is great on some of these sites, including obviously, like you said, GG. They have the best software. And it's a fun time to be playing cards. I mean, it's come a long way. I mean, when did you first start playing poker?
Oh, I don't even remember. I guess I was studying in university. Then I just was into poker for a while. I played like I had like the bonus on Poker Strategy or something like that. And that was maybe 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago. Yeah, I think 13, 14 years ago.
Wow. So like live though, only 2012 is your first Hen and Mob Cash. Were you playing some cash games or anything before that?
No, I didn't. Actually, the first 40 tournaments that I played live, I didn't cash. I had 0 cashes. So I played like few big series without any cash.
You said 40 tournaments you played live?
40 tournaments, yeah.
Wow.
It was no Cyprus. It was a Russian poker tour in Kiev. It was like the World Series of Poker in Vegas. So 0 cashes. 0.
Wow. I was just gonna say, like your first ever tournament here, it shows that you can. I mean, because that's the thing; it doesn't show when you didn't. But
my first one was
score was a final table.
2011.
Okay, was it? Oh, was it before this one then?
But that because I didn't cash, so it's not here. But I started 2011.
Well, I'll tell you what, we should. Someone's got to clip this and make this a don't give up true underdog story, because most people, if they didn't cash 40 in a row, may throw in the towel. But look, here we are. Here you are today, #1 all time in Russia. Let's take a look at that pocket fives. It's pretty spicy. Spicy. Let me go over here and show you. I mean, look at that. This is joined in 2011. You got some big results.
I was #7, like the worldwide, but I didn't play because I was traveling. I was in Dubai. In Dubai, I can play only on GG.
You were
So I
number
played.
4.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I was number 4. Okay, but I still think these rankings, they don't even show your profit, right? It just the system is not really fair because you can win a lot of money. You can even like lose money and be like on the top ranking. You just need to win to have the big scores. So, but it's still kind of competition also. But I never, to be honest, I never follow this online rankings.
for sure. It makes, yeah, it's probably the better way to do it. Not get too caught up in it. What about this $1.2 million score? Tell me about that, because that's I mean that's special, right? Like that stands out in your career. It's your 7-figure score, and tell me what happened there.
So it was a 10K tournament on GG, and yeah, I made 8 bullets in this one. And the first bullet, I had a big stack, and Mario's gears, he busted me. I had the bluff catch, and he had aces. So in 3-bet pot, he busted me, and then I made 7 more bullets, and then we finally met in heads up, and I
No
won the
way.
first place.
No way. He
Yeah,
busted you when you had a
he
good
busted.
stack on the first bullet.
Yeah, we both had a good stack, like 2 big stacks before like before the day 2, and
Right.
he was a chip leader, I guess, after this one in day 2, and then I made more bullets, and
Wow.
finally we get to the final table and to the heads up. Yeah,
Wow. That's
and
an incredible story. So a lot of entries, obviously. 10K buy-in, 1.2 million to first. So I mean, do the math. That's how much was that? There was end up like 5,000.
no, 10K buy-in was
Oh,
10K, so it
10K.
was 80K to buy-in.
Right, but it was a 10,000. You were in for 8 entries.
Yeah,
Right. So I'm saying for the total amount of entries, like total entrants in the field, it was how many? 500,
I
500.
have no idea.
So
I
I'm
don't
trying.
remember, but it was like over 1,000 entries,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So 10 million. Yeah.
or
So
maybe a little less. No, maybe less than 1,000, but it was a lot. But
right.
it's still, yeah. I
Wow.
guess I over entered in this tournament, but there were players who made even more.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at actually right here. I can click on it.
I think that Ike made like, or maybe Victor. If you have an information who made more re-entries, I think maybe Ike or Victor made
Wait,
like
how
a
is that
lot.
possible? It says only a hundred entries. No.
That's because of day 2. It was multi re-enter. It was multi
Ah,
days, so it was 1A, 1B, 1C. So
okay. I'm reading it here. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, so there it was. Yeah, Marius Gears got 929. I mean, again, this is the thing though. These are great these are some tough players, man. I mean, like
sure.
Rudolph, this Radoja, he actually beat me heads up for a World Series bracelet. He's been around forever. He's a crusher. Isaac Barron, a lot of people regard as one of the best players of all time. Oli Shemian, of course. There's your boy Artur, this guy seems like he's always in the hunt. The guys
Arthur is always, yes.
just always deep, man. But yeah, some Sam Greenwood's name came up earlier. So a lot of tough players in there. But yeah, so 1.2. And there was no deal. I mean, you guys just played it out.
No, we played it out. Yeah.
And so tell me, what's that feel like then? So you're in for 80 already, which is a little bit upsetting, right? Because at some point it's like you just committed, you're in there, you're like, I keep going. But how good did it feel to win that 1.2? I mean, that was
That was great, and yeah, like as a big score, especially on a poker hog, like as a member of the team. So it was great. I don't really feel anything special because I had this kind of one before. I won millions in Russia, in Sochi for a million, and after that, the people tell that he's not even happy because I was exhausted. That's the main thing. After like the big win, usually you're more exhausted than you're like more happy. But then when the tournament finished, you can't get a sleep because you have like high adrenaline and so on. But yeah, it was kind of great when you look in your account and you see over a million there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, the 7-figure club is nice. Like there's a little extra pep in that score. It feels a little extra special. What time was it? Is this something where time zone wise? I imagine it's late if you're in Europe and finishing these tournaments. What time does that go? So
Usually
you
it's in the
celebrate
morning,
quad
like five
after, or
in
it's
the
like
morning.
5 a.m.
Yeah, I think,
So,
but I think that the final table we played separately, so it was like maybe just midnight or one like
right.
something like that. I don't even remember now because usually we play the first day, then day two, then the final table, or which is usually like broadcasting, and then yeah, it lasts like 3 4 hours, so probably midnight.
So sick. And where you do stream on Twitch now and again? Have you done that in a while? How many and what are your thoughts when you stream versus play? Like how does that impact how many tables you
I
can
don't
play?
really stream a lot now. When I started playing that high, I decided to stream less, and when I travel that much also, so that's why I also streamed less. But I'm I would like to continue streaming, but I prefer not to stream Sundays, just because I play so high tournaments, and I prefer to stream some other days to play standard tournaments. But once I guess I streamed 10K because I promised to the people that maybe if I have a deep run in one of those tournaments, 25K or 10K, I will stream, and I did it. And actually, I guess I get into the money in this stream, but yeah, not really much. I'm in this business like for a long time, so I don't know. Do you feel the same or not? Like it's kind of routine for you or not to streaming? And I feel like it's kind of routine for me right now, but people still are interested. Before that, I was streaming in a different way. It was more fun, I guess. But now it's just like playing.
Yeah, I my whole streaming thing, I can just say streaming on the road for the majority of my career, like from playing, it's just difficult with the US, the laws and everything. So like I've had horror stories. I mean, I honestly, if you could see what I've done, like you'd be like, wow, like to even continue, because it's like, I mean, bad internets, connections, traveling to places like New Zealand, right? Where I'm like, oh, this will be great. I'll spend like a month out here. I'll stream some. We'll have like, have a great time. And then can't even get off the ground. Like the internet's so bad. Or even Australia, right? It's like what you would never think in Melbourne, Australia, that it
Bad
would be,
internet?
what's that?
They had a bad internet?
Yeah, it was like crazy. Could barely even get off like to play, let alone stream. So this was like, I mean, this is probably 6 years ago. Maybe it's better now or whatever, but they've had the issues. So it's just like, I go to my wife's Brazilian, it's her town in Brazil. I've had to like drive all over town, like different places, shops. I ended up in like the local internet provider's office street because her parents knew them. It's a small town, right? And I was like streaming from a desk, like set my stuff up. Like, just imagine the tilt though. Like every time going to set up, test the Wi-Fi, new place, going around, find it. And then you still like, when you're there, it's not, you don't have your stuff. You don't have like, it's nice if you're at your house, right? Or your wife or girlfriend's house where it's like, there's coffee, there's stuff to do. You relax. Like I'm in like a business of like a place. I don't know. I don't know how to order food. Like, it's just a mess, man. Like, it's like, talk about optimal conditions. Like we're talking, this is like a huge handicap, right? So it's just tricky. It's just tricky. This is a lot of it's just fine. It's just what it is. But it's just crazy. Poker, you can bet sports or daily fantasy, DFS, but poker, we can't play
Yeah.
poker wherever. Like imagine, I mean, it'd be amazing if everyone in the world that they wanted to be able to play and could play. Like it would be great. The fields would be great. The games would be great. Liquidity would be great. But people have to jump through hoops and do this and that and move and get address. It's just like, it's just crazy. At least now I know in the States, Michigan, Pennsylvania, some of the major states are starting to come on and looks like they'll do some interstate liquidity things. So, let's see. But it's also, I remember Black Friday for the US,
Oh
right?
yeah.
2011. This is like 11 years ago this week. That was April 15th, 2011. We're talking about 11 years. If you had told me 10 years, 11 years ago that the US would not have poker together, I would have bet whatever. I'd be like, no way. There's no way. I thought it was like a couple year thing max, get the stuff set up. Even look at COVID. Like a lot of the sites needed tax money. People were at home stuck and still like, no, you can't be in California or Florida and play
Yeah.
online at GG or Party Poker or Poker Stars. Like it's crazy. So I don't
I
know.
totally agree.
It's just crazy. But yeah, you can sports bet or DFS is way less skill than poker. So I just anyway, I don't know. So I'm 35. How old are you? 33? 36?
33, but almost 34.
So we're in the same boat. At the same time, like, is it going to happen maybe in 10 years? Is it in 5 years? Is it in
So
20?
maybe poker will be decentralized and you can play whatever, like, and internet will be decentralized and everything. Who knows? Like, but I think that will not happen, to be honest. But
It's hard. It's hard. It's also like, you start thinking about guys that are a little bit older, like playing. I do believe I'll play poker for my entire life in some capacity, maybe not as much. Even the last few years, like I play much less. Now I'm more of a content guy. You guys are tough out there, Anatoly. It's hard to compete with you and Arthur and these guys like Sir Ike and all these guys. So I'm more safe on the content side, but it is fun. I love it, and I think I'll always play to some degree. Do you play live cash games at all?
no, I don't really play live cash games. I just like tournaments. I just feel like I'm so bad in this games. It's kind of different. You have to put the different work to win in this one, and you have to find like to compete with other players in different way. That's why I like tournaments more, and I like this, big scores. Uh, just maybe that's so romantic. That's why. But cash game, I can play maybe a few hours into the cash game, and I usually lose some money. So I do it probably when I'm tilting or something like that. So it's better to me to avoid this one. It's better to go to play craps, bro, like we did in Bahamas, right?
Yes, that's more if you're gonna. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the one game, craps roulette. I'm not a big table guy in casinos, but those are fun to go with friends and have a drink and just relax and not be too stressed out. But yeah, I gotta say I do love poker's been a big part. It's been an amazing thing, and I think that again I think that health is pretty good. What from your perspective does it look like numbers from where people you talk to on the circuit? Like, are people very happy? Like, are the friends in your circle, are they kind of like, wow, poker's great right now, poker's moving and booming, or are people kind of like mixed feelings?
I'm think that many poker players they just get into crypto more, and
Yeah,
like some of the players they stop winning, or maybe they're like the money that they could win they just are less now. So I don't really know how it works right now, and there is a lot of stables who are also playing, so it's kind of more complicated to win exactly the same amount of money that it was, but the top player they still won a lot. So yeah, I think if you went into crypto like few years ago, it's even more profitable and it has more value now because this market is much bigger. And like, yeah, and it's great that poker players are so close to this society, to crypto society. So
yeah, it is nice. I think I mean, truthfully, I think that in some ways it's just been such a big benefactor for poker. People just sort of have been pushed into that or had exposure to crypto in some capacity, being a part of poker, just because it's so easy to move around or travel, do stuff. It just helps with things. So I think I think that's something that really has, I think it's pretty obvious that's helped poker a lot. All right, well, give me your before we close out here. Give me your kind of schedule. You're gonna go planning to play the WSOP. Do you have any other like kind of set times? You're like, I'm gonna play online for these periods a month. Have you looked at some of the WSOP online? I know GG's got some big things coming as well. I don't know if that's announced exactly because I know roughly the dates. It's usually the same, but do you kind of have that plan for the rest of the year?
yep. I don't really have the big plans, but I would like to go to the North Cyprus to play the Merit series. I would love to go to EPT Monte Carlo, but I skipped this one. Then I would like to go to the World Series. Definitely, I would like to play as much as I can if my wife just let me go. So we'll discuss it, and then probably I go to maybe EPT Barcelona. This is a location that if you have an opportunity to go, you don't want to miss. So we'll see how it goes. I'd love to play all the big series online also. Here in Turkey, I can play only on GG also, so that is okay for me. I'm playing on GG for the last like half a year, but we'll see. Maybe there will be big series. Maybe we go to some other place. We'll see how it goes. I would like to compete. I want a big score. I lost a lot since this year starts, so I need my money back. So I would love to play and compete any big tournaments. And this Sunday also we play for the WSOP circuit. Rink. Yeah, I need the second one. Actually, the first one, the first ring that I didn't receive it, but it's okay. Next time I go to Rosvadov, I probably receive it.
And the Cyprus, do you know about their plans? Have you seen that? You see Rob Young's video? Have you kind of heard about this at all? The new room they're building?
No, I didn't see, but I'm excited now.
Scroll back on his Twitter. I think I can send you the link. It's not long ago, maybe in the last 10 days or 5 days, maybe a week ago actually, because it was just there. They're building a 200 table poker room in a brand new hotel tower. Like it's basically done. I think it's going to be ready July, like August latest. And it's got balconies. It's like a huge ballroom. I mean, it's like it's one of the nicest rooms I've seen. It was just getting
Where
finished.
is that?
It's
Is it on Cyprus?
at Merit. It's at Merit. It's literally a bridge
Oh,
across from the Royal. They made a bridge across to a new tower.
wow, that
Like,
sounds
tunnel
insane. That's what
underneath.
we need.
It's gonna be it's gonna be the marquee place to play in Europe. I mean, it's if not in the world. And I actually been going to Cyprus a long time. I love what they do. They're very, very generous there, and it's got a lot of nice stuff. Like if you're gonna, I mean, it's like not a city, right? It's not like we're Barcelona where you're just like out and going and doing everything crazy, because the city there's not too much there. But if you want to just go play poker, have good food, nice place to stay, it's a really good venue. So it's gonna be exciting. It's always fun, new, right? Like that's why World Series, it's fun. It's like new
The
Bally's.
new place. Wow, this World
Yeah,
Series. I'm so excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited and like I have some expectation, but maybe that will be wrong. We'll see. I hope that the World Series, the WSP, they'll bring the new chips, maybe like to work with the stuff to have like the better dealers. I mean, I hope so, especially in the new place. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll play all the tournaments. I will play all the tournaments. I'll play Villaggio. I'll play the Win tournaments. I'll play Venetian.
Yeah.
But the bracelet you can win only in the World Series of Poker. So
I'm as of right now not going to be there for a ton of it, because I think I told you I have a wedding like during the main event, which is a little unfortunate. But I did eye that 10K. There's a PLO and a 10K high low, and if you're not going to play the high low, you got to play it, man. Please.
I buy a piece, bro. I buy a piece from you, and
I'll buy a piece. I want to buy a piece of you. I want to buy a piece of you.
I'm gonna rail.
25K mixed game. You're not going to play your favorite game at 10K.
No, it was once. It wasn't my money on the line. So it was.
Someone told you that you got to play it. All right, same thing. Well, you should play one way or the other. I'll buy whatever, because I know if you like it, you'll learn. It's just like not that complicated.
Okay, maybe 1500. 1500 high low I can play for my own
10K.
money.
I'll buy whatever you don't want.
10K.
It's way easier to win a bracelet. There's only like 200 people, and it's soft. So we'll put that on the docket. But listen, Anatoly, I always enjoy catching up. It's always a pleasure. I love your price predictions. I think you said 80K, no, 89K and 7K, right?
I hope so, bro. I hope
Ethereum.
so. We should go bullish soon.
I'm on it. I'm with you. I love it. I think we're gonna crack 6 figures, and I think Ethereum's gonna 2.5x. I like that prediction. I think you're right on to something. And I always enjoy chatting. I look forward to hanging out. I guess I'll see you at the World Series, if not before. And always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That's Anatoly Filatov. Give him a follow on the socials. Check out his career. I mean, look, I didn't really get to even go over to Instagram, but there he is, Filatov Poker. You can see he shows, he does, he's very, very fun to follow. He shows his journey. Look at, there's Boris, baby Boris, and kind of gives you a look at what it's like into a poker player's, the highs and lows. He's very open and honest. It's fun to watch. And there's, look at just recently, who knows? That was the other day. It looks like another 225K score. So the guy can play some cards. He fires, he mixes it up. Follow him on the socials. We'll see you guys soon. This is episode number 8 of Coin Rivet. We'll check you next week.
Thank you, bro.